Right, welcome everyone. Thank you for checking out this video. A few things at the beginning. Ignore my hair, it's a bit funky today. I did put some hairspray on, but yeah, it's not settling too well today. And on top of that, my microphone keeps falling down, but it's fine. This is an educational video. Ignore these flaws. They shouldn't affect the video itself. So guys, I'm going to be discussing a very important topic, which is actually quite close to my heart, because this topic is actually very, I'm very passionate about it. So I'm going to be discussing the importance of credit scores, why it is important to regularly monitor and check your credit, inherently why you should keep a close eye on it. But before I go into this video in a little bit of depth, I'm going to try and keep the video as short as possible. For those that are new to my video, guys, please, to support this channel, if you could possibly, if you want to, hit the subscribe button below. It will only take a few seconds, but it will greatly help me out. On top of that, to support the Google algorithm, in terms of searching this video, if you can hit the like button after watching this video or in between, that would be massively helpful. Keep tuned to my other videos. Hit the notification bell below so you do not miss any upcoming videos. Now I need to stop fiddling around with my hair. So guys, like I said, I'm going to be discussing the importance of credit scores. Now, it's so fundamental, guys, to kind of keep in tune with what is happening with your credit score updates every month. So why is this important? It's massively important because what your credit is, that's fundamentally what these companies that provide loans, that provide mortgages, that, give you contracts for your mobile phones, when you get credit cards, they will all look at your credit score, your credit worthiness. Do you pay your money on time? Do you pay your bills on time? And this isn't just for a short period of time, guys. This is over the long period. They're going to assess how well you have or how you've been in terms of paying your credit, in terms of paying your payments every month over a few years. And essentially this could affect you getting mortgages, all these important things in life that you do need. Eventually you're going to need a credit card. You may need an emergency loan here or there, when a situation occurs. And if your credit score is not okay, if you haven't been up to date with your payments every month, it can essentially affect you getting that loan, that credit card, that mortgage, when at the time you need it, you can't get it because, they're going to assess these things. So that's why I'm going to be going over a few tips with you guys. I think this will be 6 or 7 tips that you can implement, that will essentially improve your credit score. And when the time comes you need that mortgage or loan, you can get it if you start implementing these tips. So guys, before I get into it, this is a UK edition, obviously, because I'm based in the UK. For those based in other countries, this may not be applicable for you in terms of the credit agencies, but the tips will be applicable for you because around the world, these credit brokers, they assess kind of similar things. So keep in tune with the tips. So in the UK, we have 3 credit agencies. I did see a 4th one, which I will notably mention, but the 3 biggest ones is Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and I think the 4th one, so the 4th one is Credava. I don't know too much about this one. I've only came across this recently myself, but yeah, they're another one. But essentially the 3 core ones are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, which you need to kind of monitor individually with those, or you can go with a one provider that can kind of cover all of those. So I'll get into the tips. The important element is to go and download yourself a credit report agency or credit broker that can provide you that information. So I'll just kind of tell you a few here. You have Check My File. I think that's what you call Check My File, which essentially assesses all of them in one kind of placement, one area. You have Clear Score. I think that's with Equifax, TransUnion, one of those. You have Credit Karma. Again, I think it's Equifax or TransUnion, one of those. So what I've done is, you could have Check My File bill, or I've essentially got Experian directly. So I've downloaded their app. I have what's it called, ClearScore, and I also have Credit Karma. Those three. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember the names. So yeah, that's the ones I have. Or you can download Check My File, which will assess all of them collectively. So let's just move on to the tips now. So first thing, let's go into tip number 1. Clear your debts, guys. Any debts you have, or keep up with the minimum payments. So if you notice any debts that have been going on for a while, where you haven't been really keeping up with the payments, or you're falling behind, or even a worse situation where it's getting close to a default, start working on that now. That could become a big problem, because once that default lands your account, you served the notice of default papers, that's a big issue. That will cause a major impact to your credit. Otherwise, if you cannot afford to kind of pay off your whole payment, the whole debt, essentially, keep up with the minimum payments at least, guys, or give a bit more than the minimum payment. So, it looks good on your credit, you're keeping up to date, you don't have any kind of default registered or missing payments registered on your credit reports for that specific month or several months. That would become a big issue. So do keep a watchful eye over that. And that's a very important point, because until you don't fix that, you're not going to see any kind of improvement on your credit. Number 2, for those that do have credit cards, the credit utilization don't go above 50%. So if you have, say, a credit card for £1,000, do not have a credit utilization above £500. That will be a negative impact on your credit report. I think ClearScore specifically mentions that if you check it, it does say that if your utilization of your credit is above 50%. Again, that will knock points off every month, and it will keep knocking points off until you rectify that and drop it below 50%. And guys, remember, like, when you do apply for credit cards in the future, if your credit usage is above 50%, and that's an ongoing issue, that will become an issue when you're looking for a new credit card, because they wouldn't be able to provide you with like the best credit card, because they can see that you're not managing the current one effectively, and you're using there's quite a high utilization of the funds there. So that's something that's very important. Keep a careful eye on that, especially you want to get a better credit card. You need to keep a watchful eye on that. Do not do quick credit applications back to back. This is fundamental, guys, because there's two things here. There's a soft credit check and there's a hard credit check. With the soft one, there's not going to be a major impact if you do, do a credit application, because it's not going to leave a mark on your credit score. If you back to back do a hard search, which is like a proper search. So say if, for example, I apply for a credit card, and then, they actually do warn you, this is not going to impact your credit, it's just a quick check. But if you don't get that kind of warning, the chances are it's going to be a hard search. And at that point, as soon as, say, for example, I apply for a credit card and it comes up with the credit agreement, the chances are, they've conducted a hard search, and they will do so, which in return will impact your credit quite heavily. And if you do that back to back, so you apply for, say, a loan, then you apply for another loan, then you apply for a credit, and you don't get that notification online that it's a quick search, is not going to impact your credit, it's not going to appear in a credit report, that could be a problem, and you could lose a lot of points. It could even hit in the hundreds. So do not do back to back loan application, credit applications, specifically when it's a hard search. So keep a watchful eye out of two terms: soft search and hard search. They're different types of searches. Soft will not impact your credit. Hard will. Hard search will, due to the nature of what they're checking. They're going to do a quite in-depth check over your credit. Tip number 4 is something that's kind of basic, but I would say also fundamental. Proofread your credit report. Now, what does that mean? Now, people think, oh, why do I need to keep checking my credit report every month? That's right. You don't need to check it every month unless you're focusing on kind of building your credit report, and that's something that's important to you. But what I would say is that it's important every month to just keep a watchful eye, because there's scammers out there that could essentially do some fraud and use your name on the application, so identity theft. And essentially, it could land up in your credit report that you've taken out a loan, which you haven't. So it's always worthwhile to kind of check every month these kind of details, so there's no identity theft or fraud issues. But also have a look at your credit report, just see if everything is right. So proofread it from your name, your address, your details, all the loans that are coming up there, all the credit cards that are coming up there, just to see that there's nothing suspicious going on that maybe you haven't applied for directly, but it is coming up on your credit report, because you can catch something that could be a big issue for you, especially, if you haven't applied for something or they've got some details wrong there, that could affect your credit report. So yeah, keep a watchful eye. What I would recommend to people is to essentially, personally, I check my credit reports every month, and that's just to keep, like I say, eye on there. I don't want kind of identity theft going on, and in terms of someone applying for things in my name. So personally, I keep a watchful eye over that, but it's entirely your choice. I would say every few months, check your credit report, do a proofread over it. Tip 5, guys. Try and improve the amount of credit you can get on credit cards. Now, I don't recommend people having a lot of credit cards. I would say if you have the one and your limit is 1,000, try and get it a bit more higher, because it just shows that you're capable of managing the money or the funds on the credit card, and that the company do see you worthy of getting a higher credit limit, because they can see you're managing your finances really well. And for that, guys, you don't need to go over the top, like spend half the limit every time. Just keep up to date with the payments that you do take from the credit card, and just monitor that. And yeah, I recommend that if you do get a limit increase with the credit card company, go ahead and do it. It doesn't mean you have to spend all the money. And for those that are addicted to kind of spending money, then this is probably not a good option, because the more money you have available with your credit card company, you could utilize it. This is for people that are okay with kind of, the credit increasing, say 2,000, 3,000, that it works in their favor. The company sees you can manage it, but if you're good with it, then carry out those credit increases. But yeah, it will look favorable to you in that regard. So tip 6, guys, if you can, like with this company, I think it's ClearScore, or maybe Experian. It may be Experian actually. If they offer you the ability to connect your bank to this credit app to boost your credit score, then definitely go ahead and do that, because you could get a boost of 50 points right there, which is really, really good. I know for a fact Experian does it. I don't know about the other ones. So essentially what they do, they connect to one of your bank accounts. They kind of assess things, how you're doing there. If you're managing with your payments, ingoing, outgoing really well, they will add some points. This could be 50 it could be 50 points. It could be 100 points. I think when I did that, I got a 50-point increase. So it's something, it's not a massive amount, but definitely it's one of those tips to kind of have an addition or upgrade to your credit score or increase it. The last tip now, guys, this tip isn't anything major, to be fair, but it's if you can register to vote. It does appear on your credit report that you're registered on the electoral, I can't pronounce that, and your points do go up, and it is favorable if you do that. Like I said, it's not a major thing, but it definitely is a positive on your credit report. So these are 7 tips and factors. If you implement, you will definitely see a improvement on your credit report. Next thing is, sorry guys, how long will it take for your credit to improve? Now, fortunately, the answer here is this isn't a quick repair. This isn't a quick repair. So if I put my circumstances in it, why I'm so passionate about this topic, essentially, my credit was quite bad 4 or 5 years ago. So if I take Experian, for example, my credit was 140. So I was very bad with managing things. But over time, I've implemented these tips I've said, and it's taken at least 2-3 years. And it could take more for you and it could take less. But I managed to get my credit up to over 800 on Experian now. It's not quick. So if you're looking for something quick, like I've even mentioned before with one of the tips, that you can boost your credit, but you can see the boost is like 50 points, 60, 70, 100. There's no quick repair to get your credit from something in the low hundreds to close to 1,000. It's going to take a few years at least. And even at minimum, if you do quickly improve it, it's going to take 1 to 2 years. So if you're looking for a quick repair, there's no answer to that. There's no quick way. So this is a long-term thing you're going to work on and implement those steps so you can eventually get to a better credit score, which obviously gives you the best interest rates, like on loans, mortgages. If that's something you're looking for, then you need to start doing that right now, because like I said, it's not a quick term solution unless your credit is already somewhat good. So guys, I hope those tips prove useful to you. They actually have helped me dramatically. You know, I'm on the other end of the spectrum in terms of credit worthiness. You know, it's taken a long time, and I just want to get this point out there, guys, that your credit score, your overall management of money, in terms of when it comes to getting loans or mortgages, it's fundamental. You kind of grasp that now rather than later. The unfortunate thing is that at schools, when I went to school, they don't teach these things. So this is particularly fundamental to those that are maybe in their early 20s, even 30, 40. It doesn't matter. Sometimes people just don't know these factors, you know, that they can impact their credit, and they just don't know how to approach this because there's so many things to do. But I would say if you do a bit of everything, it would definitely be an improvement. First things, get your credit report. Look at everything. Look at where you are in terms of your loans. If you've got mortgages, look at that. Also, with these credit report companies, it would basically kind of bring up. Also, with these credit report agencies, the good thing is it will bring up where your positives are and your weaknesses. So it will kind of be clarified on there. So whatever it says is a con or a negative kind of on your credit report currently, start working on that and start, you know, improving on those things. So you will see a huge difference on your credit report. Now, guys, anything I've discussed in this video, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me. Ask in the comments below. I am massively passionate on this topic, so I'm more than happy to address your questions. And I will put some links below to different credit agencies, different credit brokers you can look at when checking your credit score with them. So yes, I hope this video has been useful. I've definitely enjoyed doing this video. My hair's just been funky through this whole video, so ignore that. But guys, I really do hope this helps, and I do hope you have, you know, a lovely weekend, because the weekend might end, and I will be seeing you soon in upcoming videos. So do have a lovely day ahead, guys. Comment below any questions, subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed this video, if you like this kind of content, and I'll see you in the upcoming video soon. Take care. Bye.